Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day. In today's video, I wanted to do a yellow makeup look themed around lemons. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button so you can see more of my videos. Anything that I use will be listed down in the description box below. If you'd like to see how to do this, then keep on watching. I went ahead and did the left eye off camera so you guys can see what the finished look is going to look like. For this look, I'm going to be using the Morphe and Abby Roberts palette. I'm going to be using some tape just to help me make everything even, since I'm doing kind of like two separate eyeshadows on one eye. This is just going to make sure that like both of them match the same angle, and I'm not trying to like fix one. I feel like the first part of this look is really simple compared to the lemons that I drew on my eye. Those were a little bit harder than I expected them to be, which I didn't think they were going to be easy, but like I had in mind like how I wanted to do them. And when I started doing it, I was like, this is a little bit harder than I expected it to be. First eyeshadow I'm using is called Spicy. I'm using a GlistenCosmetics F2 brush. This is just like a really flat brush. I feel like this does a really good job of just creating that line that I want with the eyeshadow initially. So I'm starting off with like kind of an orange shade, just because I don't have like a dark yellow and then like a bright yellow. I just have the yellow that I want to blend it out with. So I'm using this orange as kind of like an in-between to kind of make a darker yellow shade and then blend into a yellow. So you won't really notice the orange too much. It'll just blend out to yellow. All I'm going to do with the orange is create like a line where I want that top eyeshadow to stop. And then I'm going to use a Bellalash brush with the shade Solar and just use this to blend that orange out and blend it up into yellow. So to first blend this out, I'm going to blend almost right on top of the orange where I put it. And then as that blends out, I'm going to blend up. And I'm going to be putting a couple layers of this on until I like the way it's blended. So if you've been following me for a while, if you haven't, I'll do like a little summary. But if you've been following me for a while, then you know me and my husband have been working on trying to finish our 2 bedrooms. So like our bedroom is done for the most part, but we've been trying to finish our other 2 bedrooms that we have. We moved into this house like 2 years, almost 2 years ago. It will be 2 years in August, and we had carpet and like a really ugly paint color in these 2 rooms, and we absolutely hated it and we didn't want carpet. So as soon as we moved in, we ripped everything up and we wanted to get started on painting. We had finished painting our master bedroom and like painting the trim. We didn't redo the floor in that bedroom because we were fine with it. Now we know that we don't like it anymore after doing the other rooms. We finished our master bedroom's paint, and then we moved into, we call it the pink room. It was painted like a pink color, and then it had like a striped accent wall with like pink and blue. And we wanted to just do everything in white and just get it back to like a basic color scheme, and then decorate with like furniture and like wall hangings is like where the color was gonna be at. So we had started painting it, and by starting I mean like prepping the walls to paint it, probably a year ago. I'm not even kidding. Like we would start on it, and then we got so busy doing a bunch of other stuff because you know life can get like really busy. I mean, it stopped being a priority because we didn't really need it. We had like kind of stopped prepping it because it was taking forever. Well, now that we're having a baby, and the baby's coming in June. Okay, it is the end of, what month is it? I'm drawing a blank. It's the end of April. There we go. It's the end of April, and this baby's coming in June. So we started working on the rooms again, which I'm not saying we started right now. We started like pretty far back. As soon as we found out we had a baby, we were having a baby, I was like, we need to get these rooms done like immediately. And so we started back on them, and we just, last weekend, and I say we, I mean my husband and like some of our friends. I can do some stuff, but I can't do a lot because I don't know how to put flooring in. I know how to paint, but I don't know how to do, like they wanted to redo the windows, like take the windows out. So like I don't know how to do any of that. So I didn't really do anything. But when I say we, I just mean they. But they replaced the windows because my husband hated the windows that they had. Like we wanted to paint everything white, but our window, like the seals and stuff, I guess is what they're called, are like a beige color, and he absolutely hated them. He's like, these are not gonna look good. with the white walls, he's like, I'm gonna get rid of them. So he replaced the windows and put new windows in, and like, you know, like most windows, it may be different where people are, so I'm not for sure like if you're from somewhere else that it's different. So like where I'm from, like it's very common for you to have that grid in the windows, and I really don't understand why that's a thing, but like my husband hated that too, so he got windows that were completely just glass, like there's no grid in them, and it just makes the room look more open, and I love them. And of course, like he has the white seal and everything on them, so he replaced windows in that room. There's two, so he replaced both of them, and then we picked out a floor, and I think it's linoleum, I think is what it's called. It might be something different, but similar to linoleum. It's like a grayish white. It's really pretty. But we finally got that in last week. We got the windows done, and then we got the floor in last week. And all that's left in that room is trim. And then we're gonna be moving all of our office stuff, because that's technically our office. So like when I had moved in here, I swear, like a year and a half ago, I feel like it was last January, that I was like, we're working on the rooms, we're gonna have them done, you're not gonna see this blue wall forever. And I feel like it's been forever. Going back to the makeup, I'm gonna switch back to the F2 brush with that spicy shade and just go back over where I had initially made that line. But we're finally probably gonna be, because my baby shower is next weekend, so this weekend we're cleaning out the basement area so we can have a party in there. So we're not doing anything this weekend, but hopefully next weekend we can finish the trim in that other bedroom and hopefully move all of our office stuff into that room. So I'll hopefully be doing my videos over there. And then we're gonna be starting, because technically this room is the baby room, which is really scary because it's not even done. I am 34 weeks this week. So this baby is getting close and it's making me nervous. But this room's a bit smaller. It only has one window that needs to be replaced. The paint isn't as bad as that other room. That other room was atrocious. I'm not even kidding. It was so bad. We spent like 3 different weekends just prepping the walls, because like we just would find a new spot every single time we would go back into it. And so we would have to refix it. And I'm just like, whoever did this room, I hate them, because they had like paint drips everywhere. We ended up completely removing the trim because we wanted to change the trim that it had in there, but like it was just gonna be so hard to clean it because there was just paint drips everywhere. There was just so many like not necessarily holes, but just like dents in the wall, and along with holes, and it was just like really frustrating trying to prep the walls, because just like whoever did it just did a terrible job. And then like something else we found out after removing one of the windows is that there was some water damage that had gotten in. It looked like they had like fixed it-ish, but there was still like, they didn't completely take out the drywall. They had just like sealed, so there was like no more water coming in. So like there was no more water coming in, which is great, but the water damage that was already there, like they didn't do anything to it. They didn't fix it. They didn't take out the drywall or anything. So my husband and our friends had to fix that and like completely, which is an easy fix. They just put like a drywall piece into it and like plastered it back in. But like they had to fix that, and they didn't see it until they had taken the window out. So there was just a lot that they had to do into that bedroom that we're hoping, which there might be some surprises, we're hoping they won't have to do in this room. So I moved on to cutting my crease. So like I said, I'm doing 2 different eyeshadows. So I'm gonna cut the crease so this one is separate and like sharp, and then I'll be doing the next part after this. But the concealer I'm using is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in the shade Light Ivory, and I'm just using a flat eyeshadow brush. This doesn't have a number on it, but it's just flat, and it's kind of thick. I feel like it's easy to like get a lot of surface area going. And I'm just following that initial line that I made with the orange shade. And I'm gonna try to match it with the other eye. But overall, I'm hoping that this room isn't as bad as the other one, and it takes less time. To set that concealer, I'm gonna use some translucent powder really quick. Just gonna press that on. Then what I like to do, because I feel like it creates like a really sharp line along with the concealer, I like to go back in with each shade that I use. So using that spicy shade again, I'm going to be a little bit more careful with how I put it on. And I'm going to put it like right above that concealer line. This will just create a sharp line above that concealer. I just feel like it gives it more definition on like concealer to eyeshadow. So it's like a for sure cut crease. And then going in with the Solar shade with that Bellalash brush, I'm just gonna go over and just lightly blend it out. Just being really careful that I'm not blending that concealer because I don't wanna blend that line. The next part is creating kind of like the winged liner or the winged eyeshadow right here. And I basically just copy what I did on the top. I'm gonna use the F2 with the spicy shade and create like just create a small line, and I'm just gonna brush this across my lash line all the way over. So going all the way to the inner corner. Stop a little bit away from the inner corner just because I don't want it to hit the top eyeshadow on the inner corner. I just want to go just close enough. We do have a plan to have everything done, at least the major big stuff, done before this baby gets here, I hope. And I mean, hopefully they don't come early for any reason, because I want this room done by the time this baby gets here. I want like the crib up, I want the rocking chair in here, which the rocking chair is already put together. It's just in my living room because I was so excited for it. I just wanted to put it up and sit in it, so we can just move that in here. And then I wanted to like have, we're getting a shelf or like a dresser to put the baby's clothes in, obviously. I want those major things up because those are like, you have to sit down and like put it together physically. So I just feel like having those done will be like the major things for this room. And then after that, I'll be satisfied, I think. Taking the Solar shade with the Bellalash brush, I'm going to blend this wing out. And I'm just gonna blend that orange out completely. I'm gonna keep from going up into the top eyeshadow, so I'm just blending into the tape a little bit and then going in and blending what orange I had put above my lash line. But I'm not worried about like organizing stuff and everything. I can do that after the baby gets here, or you know, throughout like my maternity leave and stuff. So and I can just do that leisurely when I want to, or have my husband do it on maternity leave. So I'm not too worried about that. I would like to have everything done, but in the time frame that we have, I doubt that's gonna happen. I just think having the goal of all the major stuff will be important, especially the floor and the window and the paint, because like I don't want anybody here while I'm on my maternity leave. And I definitely don't want them putting in flooring and like painting while I am like fresh postpartum. I definitely don't want that. I'm gonna go ahead and take this tape off. I think I did a pretty okay job matching. I don't think they're completely matching, but close enough. Moving on to the lemons. I'm gonna use the Mehron Paradise makeup palette. It just has the basic colors in there. And like I said, this is the hard part. I feel like in comparison to what I just did. So to start off, I'm gonna use a Morphe M250-1 brush with the yellow shade. And I'm just gonna make a circle. I'm using a smaller mirror for this. That way I can get like up close and personal. So I want the lemon to, like the open lemon. So I'm doing like a open lemon that's cut in half and a full lemon on the outer side. So I want to do the open lemon kind of in the inside of my eyeshadow. So like on both sides, they'll be on the inside, and then the full lemon will be on the outside. So basically what I'm doing is creating a circle, and I'm doing this above my crease. That way when I like look straight, it doesn't get hidden by the crease. So if you have slightly hooded eyes or hooded eyes, just keep that in mind. So if you try to do it in the crease, then it'll just hide. You won't even be able to see it, and it'll, because you're using face paint, it'll mess it up before it dries. So I have a fan finally to help my makeup dry. Before going in with the next shade, I'm gonna completely dry that. Next brush I'm gonna take is a SuvaBeauty 610 brush. It's a very fine liner brush. And I'm gonna take the white shade and I'm gonna create that white line that goes around the inside of the lemon, and this will kind of mix with the yellow, which is kind of what I want because I feel like it gives it more of a realistic look, and create kind of like a yellowish white. Picking up a little bit more white, I'm going to go into the center, just kind of put a dot for the middle of the lemon, and then taking what's left over on the brush, I'm just gonna make like small little marks going into the middle. And this is going to mimic the slices that are inside. Letting that dry. If you don't let it dry, then it'll just blend with the rest of the eyeshadow and just mix together, and that's not what you want. So make sure you're drying each layer before you continue with a different color. Going back in with the yellow, I'm just gonna go over top of all these and kind of go in the same direction. And I feel like this is going to help kind of blend those slices and the white a little bit. And again, I feel like it just gives it more of a realistic look. And then I'm also gonna take the yellow and go kind of on the outer side to create the outside of the lemon. Then I'm gonna go back in again with that white and just kind of clean things up, because I feel like when you kind of blend stuff out, some of the details get lost. So I'm just gonna go back in and add those details back in. I just feel like this creates layers and makes it look more realistic. If you would like to do it a different way, that's fine. This is just how I like to do it, and I think it helps me create a like more realistic look. I always have a tendency to make one eye look better than the other, so if one looks better than the other, I'm sorry. It's just how it ends up. Taking just a little bit more yellow, I'm going to create the whole lemon on the outside. And I'm just creating just a basic lemon shape. Because I'm putting the yellow in and like putting the second lemon in, it kind of blends into the first lemon, so it's a little hard to see the difference. So I like to take a little bit of the brown in this palette and just kind of outline the two lemons. This is really subtle, but I feel like it creates a definition, and you can kind of see the details a bit better. And I feel like it gives it a little bit more depth. I feel like I made this lemon larger than the other one. Hopefully, I can't see it very well in the viewfinder, but hopefully you guys can see the lemons and they actually look like lemons. I like this one a lot better than this other one. I think this one turned out better. I did my best on this eye, but hopefully you guys get the gist and you guys are able to replicate it and make a better lemon than me. And this is all I'm doing for the eyeshadow, so I'm gonna go off camera and finish the rest of the makeup, and then I'll be back to finish everything. I am back. I'm gonna show you how I completed the look on the right side. Off camera, I lined my waterline and tight lined with the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Black Bean. For under my eye, I'm going to keep it simple by just using this Solar shade and blending underneath of my waterline. And I am kind of bringing it up into the top liner that I shadowed out. I just want to give a little bit of a yellow color underneath. Something else I did off camera, I used some setting powder and set the face paint because it was kind of sticky. So I'm hoping that'll help keep it from being sticky and creasing. For highlighter, I'm going to pull out the Carly Bybel palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. There's a shade in here called Moo, and it's like a gold highlighter. It's the closest to a yellow highlighter that I had, so I thought this would be a good one to use. I really wish I had like a yellow highlighter, but this is the closest I have. I'm going to use a 510 brush and just kind of dust that on my cheekbone. Because this is an eyeshadow, it's more pigmented than a highlighter, so use a light hand if you're using a shimmer shade from a palette. Put this on my forehead. I'm also tapping a lot of the excess off as well. I'm gonna use my finger, put it in the inner corner. Then for my nose, I like to use an e.l.f. blending brush. And I'm gonna put it above my bridge and on the tip of my nose. Just kind of blending it out. For lips, I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna use the Morphe lip liner in the shade Sugar Pie. Using a flat brush, I'm just gonna blend that out on the edges. And using a clear gloss, I'm gonna use the Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme. This is also a lip plumper. I almost forgot to set everything. So for setting spray, I'm gonna use the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. So that is the completed look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I like hearing y'all's feedback, so please comment down below with anything you'd like to tell me or any future videos you'd like to see. Until next time, bye.